People think the darkest moments in anime are deaths, torture, violence. But it's actually this moment here, when a child realizes he has no reason to live. When a child almost commits the unthinkable, ending his own life at such a young age. One must ask, what drives a child down such a dark path? Because a child does not choose death for no reason. They choose it only after losing hope in life, when they can no longer see a reason to keep living. Suicide in adults is often linked to depression, hopelessness, or seeing too much darkness in a world that does not care about them. But to see it in a child, someone meant to be full of joy, laughter, and endless energy, reveals something deeply disturbing about our world that few want to admit. This world does not treat everyone the same. The privileged often live without ever facing such desperate questions, while those without privilege are forced to confront them head-on. And Johan Liebert sees this same cruelty clearly. Having faced the darkness of the world since birth, he understands what it truly is, how it devours the innocent and the powerless like a monster, with no end to its hunger. Where Tenma tries to change that darkness, Johan does the opposite. He feeds the fire. And he does not always need to manipulate people. Often, he simply reveals the truth already buried inside them. What Johan told Milos was something no adult around him ever did, the painful truth. Johan simply points out the facts, that his mother never tried to reach out to him, and that even if she recognized him, she might pretend she didn't. That reality is what destroys Milos. In the end, Johan does not force him. He simply points to where his mother might be and lets him go. Milos leaves full of joy and hope, believing he is finally about to meet her again. And Johan lets humanity do the rest. He knows what the world is filled with, so he simply steps aside and lets it slowly take his joy, his hope, and finally his soul, leaving only one question: why were you born? Even though Grimmer stops Milos in time, he is already changed. Having seen the side of humanity most people encounter only slowly, Milos witnessed it all at once. Even when Grimmer tries to reason with Milos and bring him back, the only way he can save him is through a lie, that he was born because someone wanted him. And though that lie is enormous, it is enough to make Milos choose life again. Later, Milos joins the other children and begins to smile again. Grimmer hopes that one day he will live, not for the hope of finding his mother, but for himself. That is the only way Milos can move forward. He just needs time to learn it, and Grimmer and Tenma gave him that time. Monster reminds us that the darkest horrors are not always death or violence, but the moment a child loses hope. And sometimes, the greatest act of kindness is simply giving them enough time to find the reason to live for themselves. If you connected with this, I've made a video exploring Grimmer and Tenma as well. Thank you for watching.